celebrate the journeys that bring us closer together. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration is back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 GLC SUV. Now for January 2nd.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? The best way should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made for well. Come experience the flame grilled difference with 2 opportunities for just $5.
I'm moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Held me back. But now, with Skyrizi, I'm all in. Thanks to Skyrizi, I saw dramatically clearer skin. And many even achieved 100% clear skin. Don't use it allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. For treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. With Skyrizi, nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi today.
It's been a grind, but I think I've aged it well. Some might say perfect.
Okay, I'm starting the live video now. I'm not going to be doing too many more of these, especially on YouTube. Going to probably be doing them on Patreon more in the future. So if you aren't already joining my Patreon, please do that. You can just do it as a free member. It's patreon.com/wrongsports. And you can be a free member on Patreon. And I'm going to do live videos there. I'm already doing almost like a daily blog, or trying to do a daily blog on there. So check that out on there too. Again, if you have any questions, please drop them and I'll try to get to them. But I will be doing my college football playoff predictions while I'm watching this bowl game that's on right now. You can also tell me if you're watching that as well. Really, tell me whatever.
This is a big 4th down, and this is good patience, good eyes in the backfield. Damari Roberson, number 4, is going to stay home on the right side.
So right now I'm looking at the college football, the ESPN College Football Encyclopedia. If you don't have that, it's a pretty awesome encyclopedia. I'm not sure how to get it anymore. Probably can find it on eBay. And it's the only thing is it's like, I think it ends in 20. It ends pretty early, so it's not really too useful. But it's fun for like old stuff, which is why I like having it. Yeah, so their standings end in 2004. So this is a 20-year-old book. This is a great book though, a great encyclopedia. Obviously there are more modern ones, but this is just fun for the old stories in here. It also has yearly stuff, which is what I like to use when I do my How the Year Was Won. They have a lot of polls in here, which is what I like to use. They have All-American teams, all that stuff. So yeah, make sure if you can find it, I would say definitely try to get it. But also, I am dropping a whole bunch of short videos all throughout this month and early January, all about the early college football teams in college, all the early college football team national champions. I started in 1882. I'm going all the way to 1904, and then I might be doing something about 1905, but I haven't really thought about it yet, because if it's going to be something, it's going to be like multi-shorts, and I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. I'm still thinking about it. But if anything, I will be dropping a pretty big project I have going on right now. Working on all about service college football during World War II. I did videos at the beginning of this channel, so like 5 or 6 years ago I did them. I'm basically doing a revamp of them. I'm going to be doing How the Year Was Won 1941 through 1945, so that's going to be 5 videos, plus I'm going to be doing a countdown of the top 10 best service teams, and I'm going to be doing a covering a service college football division that happened in 1945. That's going to be exclusive to my Patreon. So I'm going to be doing more Patreon exclusive stuff. That's going to be a Patreon exclusive. And I'm actually going to drop that one probably at the end of January, the first service college football video. And then I'm going to try to get 1941, how the year was won, right around Valentine's Day, right in that area, maybe around Super Bowl time. So make sure you check that one out.
And all I love about all that is we can talk about the state of college football, where things are now with the
And I have to drink a lot. But I am very happy today because I hit 3 futures bets on Travis Hunter to win the Heisman Trophy. I actually did a live video, I believe, on September 4th. You can check it out in the archives, where I said, take Travis Hunter to win Heisman, because at this point, I believe he was 25-1, somewhere in that range. I said, put $25 on him. Well, if you did, you'd be happy right now. But if you didn't, I'm sorry, because I put a couple of $25 on him. So I'm very, very happy about it. Very, very happy he won. But in terms of my college football playoff picks, I'm going to do them right now. And then if you aren't checking this out live, you can always check this out in the archives later. And then I can brag about it later if I'm right. And I'm going to try to punch these in now because I actually did one of these brackets on ESPN. So let me see if I can find my bracket real quick, because I'm not going to change who I picked, but I might see who I'm going to do here. Okay, so for the first 4 games, I'm not having any upsets happen. It's all going to be the home teams that are going to win. So I'm having Notre Dame win, I'm having Penn State win, Ohio State, and Texas win. I think the only team that's going to really have any trouble is going to be Penn State, and that's only because SMU can score. And they might not be able to do that at Penn State just because playing at Penn State is like playing in the middle of nowhere. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. So that's why when this college football playoff came out, I was laughing because I was wondering who the hell would want to go to Penn State. Who the hell wants to go to Notre Dame in the middle of December? That's not fun either. It's cold as hell there, too. Really, the only Ohio State sucks. The only comfortable game is going to be that Texas-Clemson game. And that's because it's in Austin. Even then, I think it's going to be pretty cold in Austin next weekend. So those games are going to be cold. But I'm still taking Texas to win that game. I'm actually taking Texas to beat Arizona State as well. That game is in the Peach Bowl. That's happening on New Year's Day. And then I'm taking I'm taking Ohio State to beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I think Ohio State should have beat Oregon before. Ohio State always does this to themselves where they stupidly lose games, but they somehow get second chances, and this is going to be their second chance because they're going to beat Tennessee, and then they'll beat Oregon. So I have an 8 versus a 5 in my semifinal at the top. Ooh, and there was a nice throw in this South Alabama game. I don't know if you're watching it right now. But that was a touchdown. But anyway, in my college football semifinal in the top, I would have Texas versus Ohio State to be 5 versus 8. And then in the down part of the bracket, I have Penn State winning. I have Notre Dame winning. Penn State, I also have Penn State beating Boise State as well in the Fiesta Bowl. I don't know why. I don't think it's a good idea, but I have it anyway. I don't know. I really don't know why. I have no answer for it. I don't think it's going to... James Franklin... If James Franklin loses that first game to SMU, he's fired, right? Like, he can't stay around. But then again, it's like, who else would they put in that spot? I have no idea. It's such a weird... This whole playoff thing, like, everyone thought, there's not going to be anything going on here. And I'm like, no, it's made it even better. And Carter, thoughts on playoff expansion to 16? Yeah, it's probably going to happen. I mean, they're doing 14, right? In 2 years, they're doing 14. So, I mean, it would make sense to do 16. I don't mind. I think any more than 16 should just stop. You don't need any more than 16 because in the FCS they have 24, and that's good enough. And even then, they pushed it to 24, and that was a little too much. And yes, I do have Ohio State beating Tennessee. Again, don't know why, but Ohio State does have a $50 million offense. I'm sure Tennessee has like a $20 million offense too. Tennessee's really good, but Ohio State really needs to win. If they lose, everyone's like they're going to fire Ryan Day, but then who would they hire? It's like the same situation with Penn State. It's like, who would they hire? So I don't know. Clemson getting in is great. I think that's hilarious. It is. It's stupid. Like the way that they have the automatic bids and how they gave it to specific conferences is really stupid. Especially since, like, if you look at Boise State's schedule, their schedule is not the best. And I mean, they didn't play anybody good. And in a few games, they didn't really look that good. In that Hawaii game, they didn't look good. I think Genti had like most of the yards in the first half and then did nothing. And the whole Mountain West wasn't that good. So it's nice, I guess, that there is an automatic bid. But if the expansion goes to 16, see, if they go to 16, I don't know how they would even treat the group of 5. I actually did a whole rant about this on Patreon. If you're not a Patreon member, you can do that right now, patreon.com/wrongsports. You can actually just be a free member. So, sorry, I have an itch right there. You can just be a free member on my Patreon right now and check out my rant I did today talking all about how I believe Division 1 is just going to go to 3. It's going to go to 3 divisions very soon. You're going to have Division 1, Tier 1 with your 70, whatever the Project Rudy they're talking about with the 70 teams that are going to be up in that upper echelon. So you're going to have Tier 1, your upper echelon teams. Then Group 2 is going to be the group of 5. So your American Conference, your Mountain West, your Conference USA, your Sun Belt. Who would not be in there? Who else wouldn't be in there that I'm forgetting right now? They would be in there. And then you would have your Division 1 FCS. But the only thing is, what would happen now with the Division 1 FCS? Would you have so many teams just trying to jump ship to get into that second tier? Because if you're going to have Project Rudy happen, which would be, your 70 teams all vying for whatever, I forget, they were doing a 16-team playoff or some whatever thing. But they were, going to get rid of all the conferences and all the teams were going to be geographically, aligned. And that's how they do it. And it's a good idea. I think they should do it. Why not? Who cares? Honestly, at this point, who cares? But I was talking all about this on my Patreon right now about how there's going to be 3 tiers in college football. You're going to have your Tier 1 with your teams that can actually make the playoff. Then your Tier 2 with your teams that are just fighting to get that final spot. Because I believe in the Project Rudy, they were talking about how there's going to be a division of relegation and promotion and how teams can move up. Yes, I do think that Tarleton maybe can move up. Do they even have the stadium for it? Because, Sacramento State should move up. I was talking about how teams need to move up, about how over the last decade, we've all kind of forgotten about how there's been a lot of teams that have moved up from the FCS to the FBS, and there's a reason for that. There's 2 more that are moving up next year. You have Missouri State, you have Delaware that are moving up. There's going to be more teams, I'm sure, that are moving up before 2026 because you want to get up there before 2026, before all this stuff goes down with the playoff, because there's going to be a new playoff that comes in 2026. So with that, you're going to want to move up already. So Sacramento State should move their butt already. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. They really need to get a move on. I saw they had a stadium and they had the money, right? So yeah, they need a project to be built to have any chance of moving up. Yeah, I thought they had the money though. So I don't know. I thought they had that money. Sorry, let me go back to my playoff real quick and then I will rant a little bit more. So anyway, in my playoff, which is really stupid now that I'm looking at it, I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 5 playing 8, which is Texas against Ohio State. I'm going to have Texas beat Ohio State, and then Texas would be in my final. And then I'm going to have Notre Dame beat Penn State. I don't even know why I have Penn State going this far at this point. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I really have no idea. And then I have Texas winning the national championship. Texas should definitely win the national championship. The only reason why Texas has 2 losses is because they play Georgia. But I think Georgia's going to lose to someone before they get to the final, before they play Texas. Yeah, Tarleton has the 20,000 seat stadium. I mean, then yeah, they should move up. They need to get their ass moving. That's what I would say. You know, make your calls, get moving, because you want to get up there before 2026, before everything breaks down. Get into the Conference USA. Seems like Conference USA will invite anybody. Conference USA will literally take anybody. They're taking Delaware. They have Sam Houston State. They're all over the place. Tarleton State, come on. Sacramento State, come on. Sacramento State's got that open invitation to either the Mountain West or the Pac whatever, 8, Pac 10, Pac whatever. I know that they want to get to at least, I think they're at Pac 8 right now, but they want to get to more. And I'm like, yeah, Sacramento State would be a good team to get. Sacramento's a good place to be. I mean, they, you know, in this new Pac whatever, they don't have too many California schools. You want to have more. And then I did a rant on my Patreon about how the Dakota schools, the Montana schools, there's 6 of them. You got North Dakota State, you got North Dakota, you got South Dakota, you got South Dakota State, you got Montana, you got Montana State. I would even throw Idaho in there too, but I don't think Idaho is moving up ever just because Idaho moved themselves back right now. No, I don't think a problem with Dakota's geography. I think the problem with North Dakota and South Dakota is that they don't have a big enough stadium, and they just don't want to put it in. They don't want to put in a bigger stadium. I think that South Dakota stadium is only 6,000 people, and they don't want to move up anymore. And who the hell wants to play outdoors in South Dakota? I know North Dakota has the Dakota Dome, and I think, does South Dakota have the Dakota? Oh, no, South Dakota has the Dakota Dome, right? And there's 2 domes, and then 2 of them play outside. And then Montana plays outdoors, both of them. So, I mean, they would have to expand, which they would be able to pretty easily. They would be able to expand. If you're outdoors, you'd be able to expand. If you're indoors, it's really hard. I know North Dakota State was looking into doing it, but I just don't think they have the money to make their stadium any bigger. And I think their stadium holds close to 20. But you know what? If this project, I was talking about how if this project Rudy comes in, I don't think stadium size will matter anymore. It only mattered in the NCAA. That's all it mattered. And I think if this project Rudy thing comes in, they're going to say if North Dakota State wants to come in, they'll say put him in. Put him in the second tier or whatever. So I don't think it'll matter. Yeah, Kennesaw State Stadium is small, but there's a reason why they're in. See, like, stadium size used to matter, but now I don't even know why certain teams don't move up, because Missouri State had, like, one of the biggest stadiums forever. I mean, Tennessee State technically they play in the Nissan Stadium, so they should be playing Division I, but they don't because they don't have the money. It's really all about money at this point with these teams, but I'm actually going to check out some things right now. Okay, actually, the Kennesaw State Stadium holds 10,000, and they actually had a record attendance of 11. I think you only need 10,000 But if you want to be in this Project Rudy, they might want you to be bigger. And I mean, like I said, if you're in a dome, you're not going to get any bigger at this point. But I just think it's all about money anyway. It's just going to be all about money. So whoever has the most money is going to want to do it. If you have, I talked again on this rant. I talked again in this rant about how if you have the money, you can do whatever in college athletics. Example, SMU. SMU is in the ACC and they didn't get any money. They're using all their own money pretty much. I mean, there's a video on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and you look at SMU's brand new $100 million facility that looks amazing and they've got this great stadium, they built it all with the money that they have. And I mean, this is money going back to, you know, still has that one guy who started the whole pay for play thing back in the 80s. He's still there giving them money. So they're still going to always have money. If you're a team that has money like SMU, you can do anything. They're going to be in that upper tier because they have money. Kennesaw State, I don't think they have money to stay in the tier 1. They might have enough to stay in tier 2, but not in tier 1. And if you're an FCS team, you're going to have to make that decision if you want to stay as an FCS school or do you want to spend more money to try to move up. Yeah, and that's the thing that I've seen, you know, if you look at it now with certain teams that have moved up and down from FBS to FCS, most of them that move back from FBS to FCS are really happy they did that. Like Idaho's really happy that they moved back from FBS to FCS because, number one, they've been doing a lot better, but they've also been selling out all their games. They haven't been, you know, at a huge deficit all the time, which is what they were at Division I. They can get opponents. They can get good opponents being in the Big Sky. You know, that really works out for them. So, you know, good for them. And then I was talking about how teams are just dropping athletics altogether. And you know what? That's going to be the new thing. You're going to be seeing over the next decade a lot of teams. Okay. I would say Idaho is happier than they would if they were in FBS. I mean, then they can move up if they want to move up. As long as you have the money, go ahead and do it. Why not? I'm getting distracted by this game. Sorry. I'm going back to my playoff real quick. What was I ranting about? Oh, yes. I was ranting about how teams are just going to be dropping athletics altogether pretty soon. That's going to be the new trend. So we've seen a few teams already start to do it. There's going to be way more teams that are going to be doing it. You saw, I made an example about St. Francis College in Brooklyn about how they dropped all their athletics. You're going to be seeing a lot of more teams doing that because that's just going to be what you're going to have to do. Hartford went down from D1 to D3. I'm sure a lot more teams are going to drop from D1 to D3 because it's just cheaper to do so. You don't have to give out scholarships. You don't have to worry about traveling to all these games, traveling all these people to all these games. It's going to be a lot cheaper for you to do things. So we'll see about that. But I think within the next 10 years, that's what we're going to be seeing. That's going to be the new trend. Because in the last 10 years, we saw about a dozen teams move up. And now in the next 10 years, we're going to see a lot of teams just completely drop out of athletics altogether because it's just cheaper to do so. And if you have any predictions on the playoffs, drop them in the comments. Wow, what a ridiculous play that was. I don't know if you're watching this South Alabama game. Yeah, wow, what a ridiculous play. Has Eck officially left? I know Eck that got that. Eck got a few offers.
Russell is in a position to make this play. He stops, but he doesn't elevate, get to the ball at its highest point, which allows Webb to go over the top of Russell's shoulders and just take the football away.
Ooh, and then you miss the extra point.
But it's a full record for Jeremiah Webb in the first half. 164
Is anyone but Notre Dame? Yeah, maybe.
come to play, and this South Alabama team
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good to go at New Mexico. All right, if Thamel says it's a done deal at New Mexico, it's probably a done deal. So, all right. Well, I'm sure he'll do okay. New Mexico will give you about 3 or 4 years before they fire you, or before they try to move you on.
Webb snagged and pulled away. Who wants it more?
If you have any other questions or anything else, you can tell me in the comments, or you can just talk about whatever.
Jeremiah Webb, a fifth-year senior transfer from South Dakota. No wonder those Dakota schools are pretty good.
Yeah, wait, what are the spreads in those games now that I'm going to look at that?
Young man from Chicago has had a heck of a first half. Here is Parker again to field the kick at the 7. Jordan Parker shifts back near side and then really got timed at the 20.
Team I root for is Rutgers. What terrible bowl game? Or it's not a terrible. It's actually not a bad bowl game. I think they're. I know they're playing on the 26th. So that's the bowl game I'm looking forward to. Yeah, they're playing in the Rate Bowl against Kansas State. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching Rutgers versus Kansas State. Maybe Rutgers can win. They're going to be getting their mediocre quarterback back for next season, which I guess I'm okay about. But Rutgers is actually losing their defensive coordinator. He's becoming the head coach at UMass. I don't know if you knew that, but he's going to be the new coach at UMass. And I was actually hoping for like a good few days that somehow Schiano would use his friendship to get Bill Belichick to Rutgers somehow, or to get his son. I didn't care. I honestly didn't care how it worked out. Schiano could have given anything he wanted to say to Bill Belichick to bring him, but I don't think it would have happened. And I was honestly hoping for a good few days that Schiano might have talked Bill Belichick into coming to Rutgers because, Belichick doesn't want to recruit. Fine, he doesn't have to recruit. Just let him coach. Let him be the defensive guy. But no, he ended up taking the job at North Carolina, which is absolutely insane. But, who was the question, actually? What did someone ask? Oh, about UMass. Do you think UMass will ever be good at this level? Probably not. They're going to be in the MAC, though, so that'll be helpful. At least they'll get a good schedule against teams they can maybe beat. They get Akron or Kent State on their schedule a couple of times. They'll be able to win. But other than that, nah. At least UConn is winning. Like, UConn is at least helping themselves by winning games, but they're in purgatory right now. So they need to figure out what the hell they want to do. I just don't know what it is they want to do. They obviously don't want to mess up their basketball, which, I mean, I get it, but the basketball could have stayed in the American. I guess they were losing money or they weren't making what they wanted in the American, which I understand, but I mean, your football's basically in whatever. I know their football team's in a bowl game. It's in the Fenway Bowl. So, I mean, they'll get, $1 million or so, $1.2 million for that game. It's not terrible, but they really need to figure out what they want to do, what conference they want to be in. Yeah, I've been hearing that a while, that UConn wants to be in the Big 12. They should just go. Then go already. Go somewhere. Go to some conference. Like, being in the Big East is cool and everything. That's great, but honestly, I'm a Big East basketball fan. I love the Big East, but it's not. It's never going to be like what it was. Syracuse is not there. Pitt's not there. It's not what it. Boston College isn't there. It's not like what it was. So it doesn't matter. Just go and leave. It's fine. Like it doesn't. I'm fine with them not being there. Yeah, I don't know what the reason is why UConn's not in the ACC, but they should just move. I don't care where the hell they move. They just need to go to a conference because their football team, or they just need to get rid of their football team. It's just really either or at this point because their basketball teams are way too good. They were way too good to be in the American because I think the women's team did not lose an American women's basketball game throughout the 7 or 8 years that they were in that conference, which is absolutely incredible. So there was no reason for them to be there. And the only reason why UConn wasn't that good in the American was because they were on probation for like half that time. So, they just need to move somewhere so they will be better. But yeah, in terms of bowl games that I'm excited for the Rutgers game because I want to see Rutgers. That is on December 26th at 5:30 at the Rate game. What was the other bowl game? But a lot of these bowl games are going to be disaster zones because so many guys are just transferring or leaving or sitting out, and it's going to be really weird. I'm actually interested in the Alamo Bowl with BYU and Colorado because if Colorado actually has the guys playing, if Colorado actually has Travis Hunter playing and Shador and Shiloh are both playing, then fine. That'll be great. That'll be a great game because BYU is going to have their roster playing. They have like 150 guys in their team, so they'll be fine. That'll be a fun game to see. And then on New Year's Eve, there was a game. New Year's Eve actually has like a few fun games. I don't know what. Obviously it has the quarterfinal game with the Boise State one. But I guess I'm interested in Alabama and Michigan. It's going to be whatever. It depends on how many people are playing for Alabama. I don't know how many people are going to be. I don't know if their quarterback's going to play in that game. I mean, I don't think he should. If he wants to go to the NFL, he really doesn't need to. It doesn't matter. Louisville versus Washington, that'll be another good one. That's in the Sun Bowl. And then Baylor and LSU could be another good one too. So yeah, those are actually 4 really good games there on New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve has a good little chunk of games. And then for some reason, because they moved all the games around, we have games going on January 3rd and January 4th, and they go on forever. But I was going to look at the odds here for a moment. Oh, I was going to say I was going to do some gambling picks here in a moment. You could see Stanford and Cal rejoining the pack. Maybe. Again, they have the money to do whatever they want. Just depends on if they want to spend it or not. I don't know. Stanford's got a bunch of money. They don't like to spend it on athletics, though. They like to actually spend it on, education, which is fine. It's just them joining the ACC is extremely weird, and it's been weird. Like, if they were in the Big 12, if Cal and Stanford said we're going to be in the Big 12, I'd be like, fine. That seems normal because there's at least teams that are close to them. The ACC is just extremely weird. Even when SMU joined the ACC, I thought that was okay. Honestly, that's fine for me. Honestly, that would have been fine. So I'm okay with that. And I'm looking at lines right now. Notre Dame's 7.5 favorite over Indiana, and then the over/under is 51.5. I could see that one going over, just because I could see that game going out of hand, and seeing Notre Dame winning by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. No, actually, I see Notre Dame being up by like 2 to 3 touchdowns early, and then Indiana coming back and then putting the game over. But I still see Notre Dame winning. And then with SMU and Penn State is 8.5 point favorite. I am taking SMU. Oh my God. If you're giving me 8.5 points, you're damn right. I was damn right I would take SMU in a heartbeat with a touchdown. Granted, they're on the road. It's in Penn State. It's probably going to be like 10 degrees. I'm in Michigan right now, and it's probably warmer here than it is in State College, Pennsylvania. It's not a place I really want to play in December, but I think SMU can do it. I think SMU can at least keep it close, so that would be my best bet, would be to take that. Texas is an 11-point favorite. Jeez. Over Clemson. The over-under is 51. I was going to go under in that game anyway, just because I love Texas's defense. I think Texas is a great defense. The defense is spectacular, so I would take the under in that. And then Ohio State and Tennessee. Ohio State is a 7-point favorite, and the over-under is 47. If you're going to give me a touchdown in any of these games, I'm going to take the touchdown, so I would take Tennessee +7 in that game. In Texas and Clemson, I wouldn't take Texas or Clemson. I would just take the under 51.5. And then in Penn State and SMU, I would take SMU +8.5. And I would also take the over in Notre Dame and Indiana. Those would be my best bets for that. I'm just going to go for a little bit longer. Again, check me out on Patreon. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of bi-daily rants on there about random college football things or what's going on the channel. Make sure you check out Touchback's channel, because he was on there earlier. Not sure if you're still on there, but yeah, check out Touchback's channel. He's in the comments a lot. His channel is pretty great. All about lots of random college sports stuff like I do. So that's why it's always fun. If you have any other questions, you can tell me in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to hop out of here in about 2 or 3 minutes because I want to eat something. And I'm watching this Veterans Bowl, and it's actually a pretty good game. I was saying to everyone to take the over in this game, and it was looking pretty good at the beginning, and then it started looking weird. Now it's looking a little bit better again. Just do another pick. Again, I'm very happy because I bet on Travis Hunter to win the Heisman Trophy back in August. The bet finally hit today. Very happy about that. So I am, just glad about that hitting. And now I'm going to be doing a bunch of futures bets on the college football playoff. And probably if I can find any other fun ones, because I'm on DraftKings right now. And I like to go on other random places to find stuff. So if you have fun little bets that you've seen, a lot of sites have specials for bowl games. And I actually did score a pretty good, I actually won like $5,000 on a really fun special a couple of years ago. That was really random. So if you got a good one, tell me about it. Jaden Daniels is definitely going to win. Definitely should win something. I don't think he'll win MVP. Wow, that was another great throw. I didn't get it. That's a good catch, though. I had a couple of futures bets. My only futures bet this year in NFL that didn't hit, it's not going to hit, is I had Keon Coleman to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's not going to hit, obviously. I thought maybe he'd do something pretty good with Buffalo because Jason Allen, Josh Allen likes to throw to a bunch of random guys. I was thinking maybe he would just throw to Keon Coleman a lot, but that's obviously not going to happen. but I am going to put a lot of futures bets on my college football playoff. I'm putting it on Texas. They are I think they're plus 350, so they're not really that great, but it is what it is. Only other team I would maybe put money on that's further down the board would be Notre Dame, who's plus 750. And even then, that's pushing it. It's because I don't even know. These playoff games are going to be really risky for certain teams, depending on injuries and such. I have no faith in Georgia now just because of their quarterback's injured, but Georgia could have me playing quarterback and they might win the game. So, I don't really put too much stock in their quarterback too much anymore. So we'll see. This game's almost going to halftime, so that's why I am going to be stopping the video very soon. Also, who do you have to win the FCS championship? There's only 4 teams left. It's almost an all-Dakota it might be an all-Dakota final because it's South Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota State, and then you got Montana State. South Dakota State looked really good today. I watched that whole game against Incarnate Word, so I kind of think they should win it. Montana State, I know, has a really good defense as well. It's pretty much the same teams all the time that make it. I was surprised that South Dakota State actually won. Or I'm sorry, that South Dakota won. Because I believe they beat UC Davis. I was surprised they beat UC Davis. So I thought UC Davis was going to win. But I have my money on South Dakota State to win their 3rd straight now. And then I don't know if there's going to be any more big opt-outs in bowl games. I didn't hear any other ones besides Louisiana Tech is now in the bowl game playing Army instead of Marshall, which is pretty hilarious. I don't think there's going to be any other ones, though. All right, guys, I'm going to hop out of here in less than a minute. All I'm going to tell you is I'm taking Texas to win the college football playoff. I'm going to be dropping more short videos throughout the rest of the month. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/wrongsports. Dropping rants there every day. Even if you're a free member, you can check those out. But if you want to drop me some money, I'm always happy about that as well. And I'm going to be dropping a new long-form series coming out at the end of January, all about college football during World War II, all about service college football again, because I did that at the beginning. So make sure you check that out and have a good rest of your day.